Mr. Lucas, since founding Lucasfilm Games in 1982, did you ever think that it would grow to be one of the best adventure game companies of all? These are the wrong notes.
I was invited to do something for some classic games type conference. And I was talking about something, I don't remember what, probably Sierra. And Marcus was there to show off King's Quest on the PC Junior. And we were back to back as presenters. I think that's how we met. And somehow he messaged me and we wound up chatting and kind of hit it off. And I was kind of working on a game and needed an artist. And he said, hey, I can do art.
Is that your recollection? Or did you guys meet in a cage fight and you just punched him so hard he doesn't remember?
You know, it goes back to me collecting video games. And I went on a quest for King's Quest. I had found a copy available for sale, the original IBM PC Junior version. So I called up the Vintage Computer Federation. I said, hey, I found these two really rare games. Do you mind if I give a presentation about Sierra and the history? And they go, well, that's a really good idea, Marcus. By the way, Ken Williams, the guy that programmed it, he'll be presenting as well. And I'm like, oh, no. And all of a sudden, I get this message, hi, I'm Ken Williams. I'm like, oh, hi.
Shit.
And I'm like, I really want to give a great presentation. You know, I need some backstory a little bit. He's like, well, I just wrote a book.
Hey.
There it is.
And that's probably not autographed either, is it?
No, I bought and paid for this with my own money.
Well, if I ever write another book, we'll get you a free copy.
Thank you.
But don't hold your breath.
Ken, in your book, you said that you wanted Sierra to be known for more than just adventure games. So why go back to the well and not only do an adventure game, but redo the first ever adventure game?
Well, it was Roberta's idea, so let me have her.
We'll blame her.
Probably, I don't know, maybe blame is the word. I don't know, blame or credit or however,
yes. Let's go with credit.
However it turns out, and I hope it turns out well. It feels good to me. Feels right. But what happened is that Ken was working on learning Unity. He would be sitting in front of the TV watching YouTube videos of something that looked to me like 3D graphics or computer games, but then people were talking like a tutorial and I said, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm just learning Unity. And I went, oh, okay, whatever, walk out the door. And I go in, maybe another few days and he's still doing it. And I said, well, what is Unity? What is that? Are you interested in doing a computer game, or is that your next project? The thing you want to do? And he said, well, I'm thinking about it. And so I go, okay, and so go off and do something else. And then come in a few days later and he's still doing it. I said, well, you're serious, aren't you? And yeah, I really am. And so that's when I really started questioning him. Well, like what kind of game? I mean, because suddenly I'm perking up here and starting to go, well, what are you thinking? And he said, well, I've got some ideas. Okay, well, you probably wouldn't like it. That's fighting words, It's like, okay, well, I want to know. I'll be the judge of that. And then they said, kind of like our old game, was it Dr. Brain, Ken, or was it the incredible
Dr. Brain series?
Dr. Brain. Okay, kind of like Dr. Brain, but use that idea for teaching the programming basics. And anyway, and then I started thinking, and for some reason, when I started thinking about this, the Colossal Cave just popped into my head. I don't know why, but it was almost the same as when I sat down and did Mystery House way back when, and just out of the blue, I just said, I need to just design a computer game. It was just something I was compelled to do, and I just started doodling and doing and thinking and doodling some more and adding, and suddenly I had a game. And Colossal Cave just popped into my head. And it was almost like karma. And I went in and I said to him, have you thought about doing Colossal Cave? And his eyes lit up. They kind of raised a little bit. And a couple hours later, he called me into his office. He said, I just talked to Don Woods. And I said, what? I mean, I just literally just mentioned it, and you've already talked to Don Woods? I said, well, you know me.
He is Ken Williams. So there was no like huge foresight or anything. It was just like, you know what? Colossal Cave was pretty awesome. And the dude just goes and phones up fucking Don Woods.
If there was foresight, I wouldn't be involved.
At what point did you go from Colossal Cave could be interesting to actually being like lead designer of the project? Roberta Williams comes back.
That took a while because Marcus and Ken started on it. I was just happy for Ken to have a project. For at that point, I was just, because he gets crazy if he doesn't have a project.
Like, keep him out of the living room. Go.
I gotta say, I always knew that she was going to.
Well, and Marcus is a lot to blame.
There's that word again.
He kept pushing and tugging and tugging and pushing, and Marcus knows that I was not, I didn't really want to do it. I wanted to peek over your guys' their shoulders and maybe give them little tidbits of advice every now and then. But little by little, he, like what you might say, a fish on a line.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of this,
Yes.
and Ken, and I could see Ken was doing it. I'm going, no, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that. I finally said to Ken, you need to tell Marcus that if he gets me involved, he might not like it. I do have a reputation, and when we left Sierra, my reputation was pretty good. I think King's Quest VIII sort of brought it down a little bit, and it was very upsetting to me, that whole how that worked. And basically, I don't think that the King's Quest series was irreparably hurt. But it did some damage, and it did damage to me too, and to my reputation.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Which really, 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 really was very, not just bothered me, but it was very hurtful to me.
Shit. And
I think that's one reason why after we retired, because we sold the company, I was essentially kicked out.
Oh yeah,
And Ken was kicked out. Yeah. I mean, we were kicked out. In a not very nice way. And that was, both he and I were very upset about that. And I think that's one reason why after that I became really remote and isolated. I just didn't really want to talk to anybody and not be a part of the industry anymore, because I was very hurt. And it took a long time to kind of come out of that. So that's why I was very afraid to get back in and all of that. I just didn't want to face that again. But it became more and more serious and more and more serious. And I kept looking and looking and looking. And I knew that if I got in, everything was going to change, because everything was going to come back emotionally for me. And I just could not stand to have anything that my name was going to be put to that would hurt my reputation again. And even making that decision to come back in, it's taken me a while to kind of get the wheels rolling and to really, really come up to speed and to get my mind wrapped around it. And it wasn't something where I could just jump in and go, okay, I'm here. That's it. It was going to take a little while to just get it going. It's going now. I'm feeling good about it and working with everybody. And I knew it was going to be hard, not just for me to come up to speed on Colossal Cave, but games in general, talking with people again, working with people again, figuring it all out. After 25 years, I mean, that's a long time. I mean, people we're working with, other than maybe Dan and a few others, they're like, our kids' age. And to, you guys are, maybe Marcus, you might be a little, on the older side. Maybe a little bit, but essentially, I mean, I could have been a teenager, maybe. Your mom, teenage mom. I don't know your exact age, but to me, doing Colossal Cave made sense because that's really how Sierra was started, because of Colossal Cave. If I had never played Colossal Cave, my inspiration to sit down and write Mystery House would never have happened. And I don't know what Ken and I would be doing now. You know, he'd probably be some
smaller boat.
Yeah, or so, I don't know, but I don't know. But, and so it's almost like when I thought about it and mentioned it to Ken, it was like meant to be for some reason.
You know, for 6 months, I had to stay really quiet, and that was really hard. Trust me, that was really, really hard.
Dude, when you DM'd me on Twitter and was like, "I'm working with Ken Williams on a game," I was like, "Fuck you!"
You thought I was lying.
Yeah, I thought you were
lying. You weren't the only one that thought I was lying. It was like everybody thought I was lying.
Oh shit! I promise I have questions for you as well, Ken. So
I've already talked more than I did in the first 50 years of our marriage. So.